And up here in the top right-hand corner, Shakur's Plateau, we have Alternate Attacks Darkforce. He is our red Zerg player. His opponent down here in the bottom left-hand corner, the one and only Roxkus Titan. He is our green Protoss. And Alternate Attacks, I think a team that flies under the radar a lot, but they've got a pretty solid lineup, man.
They do. It's actually quite amazing. He definitely has a lot of fantastic teammates to practice with, which I think definitely shows, and that's such an important part of having such valuable teammates is that they can do this. Have you noticed he always does this thing where he tilts his rally point? It's very odd.
Yes.
It's very odd to me.
That's actually,
I don't know why he would do that.
Interesting.
That makes no sense.
Who was that in chat? Oh, it's G. Costanza says Katz could definitely be a 19th century German diplomat, apparently. I
see him as like a World War I tank commander.
Yeah.
Just mutton chopping it up. You got like a little pot of tea going.
Yes. I could actually...
All British tanks are required to have a tea kettle installed. Every single British tank has a tea kettle installed.
I think you're trolling me.
I am not trolling you. I am not trolling you. It is a requirement. No. So, again, he is not walling off. And considering, how well that worked from last time. Well,
angry chat member number 1. Clearly, this is the White Raw build, which he has popularized because it defends you against early pools so much better.
I get what it does, but leaving it to chance that your opponent's not going to 9 pull you, 8 pull you, something crazy like that. The additional couple of minerals, I guess, if you're at the super tippy top levels, I guess it does make a difference. But
just enjoy, like Broachling All-Ins or 7 Roach Rush or basically anything that's not a 7 pool.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So, there's definitely pluses and minuses. I just tend to feel like the minuses are greater.
Yeah.
So, but it looks like he is going for the I believe that was on 16 hatch.
Yeah, it was a 15 pool, 16 hatch.
Yeah. So no gas yet. So he shouldn't be worried about speedling run by. So he should be fine. It's not going to be a huge deal, and it looks like he's prepping up for his own expansion as well. So this might be more of a standard game. So
well, one can hope. We'll find out though. As Cybernetics Core going down at the bottom. This is just such weird building placement in general, though, because he's now deciding to wall off the much larger ramp down at the bottom, and. If there had been a few links that were sent out for Darkforce, they would immediately force a cancel on the Cybernetics Core, or just outright kill it.
He would just win the game.
Yeah.
Right now, it wouldn't even be a thing.
Yeah.
But, I think it's definitely interesting how I believe it's also a trend where the lesser-known player almost feels compelled to do some crazy cheese strategy rather than play macro against people that are definitely a bigger name, or maybe they've encountered each other before. And is he gonna just go ahead and take the early third?
He is. That drone's coming down.
4-minute third.
Let's see it. 4-minute third is
bravo.
Is all right. I'm not saying all right. I'm not saying this is a bad play. I'm saying that 4-minute third is a little more common when you see the Forge fast expand, because that expansion for the Protoss player is coming out so early, and they have no attack units essentially.
There could be a 48 behind this.
Yeah.
This is. He didn't actually put it down, so I don't know what we're talking about.
That's awesome. Okay, thank you for trolling us.
Where did the drone go?
The drone.
I guess he was just scouting for proxy pylon, is what he was doing.
I'm so disappointed right now.
That would have been amazing.
I'm so disappointed.
He could have pulled it off too. He totally could have pulled it off.
He actually could just pull off building 8 links and killing a Cybernetics Core right now too, if he wants.
Well,
anyway.
I think he is enough to hold that, and realistically, right now he's definitely ahead. Well, he won't be for long, but he's definitely already got the second up. He's doing a Forge again. I wonder if we'll also see +1 armor again.
Well, and this is obviously this expansion coming down before the 4 gate was finished, so market change from last game, and that it's a tight enough choke point now that he'll be defended against any sort of Zerg play, so we won't have to worry about that. He is going to have to worry about a super expanding Zerg player, though. This is certainly the type of map where we could see a very, very long macro game.
Yeah, absolutely. But I definitely think that it'll be interesting to see how he changes it, because it's definitely looking like the same sort of build, and it looks like there's a robo going down right now. what his plan is here, because it doesn't really feel like anything's taking shape. He's going down a lot of different paths right now, so it's definitely very up in the air, and it is interesting to me that Darkforce has not gone for roaches yet, just to be able to defend against any sort of weird, funky stuff that could be hitting in the next couple minutes.
Yeah, and Titan, there we go, getting his probes back and rally because his Nexus just came up. He does have a probe down to the bottom right-hand side, though, just to see if any third was up, and it's not yet. Doesn't even look like it's going to be close. Let's actually take a look. How many gas are up? He is actually moving into quad gas. So Darkforce is going to go after, we already see one base layer, but this is probably going to be a one base Infestor or one base Muta here in a second.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Muta is definitely an underused unit against Protoss. I mean, it's definitely used against them, but I don't believe it's, it's a very frustrating thing to play against as a Protoss player.
And with Roachborn coming up and the timing on the layer, maybe this will just be, and the Evolution Chamber, maybe this is just going to be another Roachling all in.
Same thing.
Yeah.
It is interesting that he hasn't taken the third yet. I would have thought by now he would have taken it. But he could be concerned. Again, this could be the type of thing where he feels like, even if he's playing a slight disadvantage, he feels like he's stronger than Titan. Again, maybe based on history before, and maybe he doesn't feel like he needs to take the risk of taking an early third, or he's just going to try something funky and try to win it in 2 games. But I think the Colossi is a good response to what he's doing right now. Where if he just goes Roach Sling, Colossi Sentry, stock normal gateway unit mix is going to be able to defeat that.
There is the possibility, though, that Darkforce.
Yeah,
Darkforce has. That's somewhat neutralized by the fact that there's already Robo up, and so thus already an observer that's actually making its way out. So it's not like Burrow in the middle of an engagement is going to do much, but. With the 10 Roaches that are actually coming up right now, Darkforce certainly has an opening to Roachling all in before Colossi Tech is realized. If he gets in there before the second Colossus comes up, we can see that's it for a Gateway Backbone, and that's really not all that much. Although, there we go. So not just Roaches, but also there's the Spire. So Darkforce committing to a whole lot of tech to be just sitting on 2 bases.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if he uses it just for Corruptors, or if he ends up getting some Mutas and tries to harass. And he's taking the farther away one, which is harder for Titan to scout, but definitely harder to defend.
Yeah.
Certainly. Did not get the Zealot and Manor.
Baha!
Manor Force Field.
I have a tier 1 caster. Let me prove it to you. Anyway, let's see here. Down at the bottom right-hand corner, that base is about 25% of the way up, but at the same time, Titan's about halfway done with his Nexus, so he's actually a little bit quicker on that third base.
Yeah, he's getting his tech up now. It's going to be interesting to see if he tries for more gateways, or if he's going to go into something like he's going to fake with getting Colossi and then go into something like Heavy Blink Stalker or Charge the Archon or any of these other kind of things where it's great to show a Colossi, force him to make 10 to 12 Corruptors, and then be like, surprise, no Colossi. So.
That's the best kind of surprise, actually. Anyway, what do we have? 9 Mutalisks coming up now, so Darkforce is going to be able to harass pretty effectively.
That's
love
great. I'm very excited he went Mutalisk instead of Corruptor. It makes for a very more dynamic and interesting game, as well as opens up the possibilities for the Zerg player, more so than just going standard Corruptor.
I actually just like the gathering of Overlords over here on the right-hand side, them muttering to each other. I hear them plotting. Anyway, so we do have, looks like Titan 3rd is up, but he's not really saturated up to this point, which probably should do that pretty soon, just due to the fact that it's super, super exposed in that position. He'll have a pretty difficult time holding onto a concerted Zerg attack, so he might as well try and mine as much as he can from it for the time being. But he's adding to his force, 2 Colossi up. We have Blink actually being added in now. The 3rd Colossus did just finish.
Blink is important, but it's going to come too late. Right now, the Protoss ball is very immobile, and the Mutas are coming in. There's only 2 Stalkers. Mutas are going to be able to easily deal with this and start harassing these probes. They got to run away and run towards the Stalkers, but nothing's coming.
Yeah, nothing coming at all. Finally, some Stalkers rallied to the back, but the Colossi standing watch. You will not get my probes. Oh, too bad you're an air unit. Unfortunately, they can't sight their laser beams up.
Yeah.
Let's see. And
that would be amazing.
That would be
if
so
Colossi could
overpowered. That's just ridiculous.
Oh, that would be...
Everything dies.
I'm sure there's a custom map that doesn't.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah. That would be exciting.
Darkforce going to pick away at some more probes, though. Blink just finishing up now, but not quite going to be there in time.
Yeah, and again, this is the frustration of a Protest player. When you do have this immobile army, Mulas can really wreak havoc with your day, and it's interesting, he did get a Forge really early, then there's no cannons. He saw the Mutas earlier, did not put any cannons down and try to defend against it, so he better put some down. He's already falling behind. He's lost 15 workers, and he's behind by about 40 food, so he's got to do something different.
He's backed by 23 workers at the moment, now 25, so Darkforce at that 72 worker count. He's getting to the point where he's actually going to cut production here in a bit and just outright mass units.
That's that dangerous moment when they're like, okay, I'm done, and as we speak, he makes 7 more drones. But
I said getting close. I was covered. Anyway, he has gas he's not utilizing, actually, which is pretty bad for him because he is so gas-starved. He's got 1,300 minerals and just 150 gas at the moment, so can't really produce a lot of high-tech units. He'll need to shift some some drones over there in a second. Man, I'm just shocked he has actually not seen that yet.
I think it's worth noting also that I feel like his creep spread could be a lot better as well. But he is definitely working on microing with his mutas. But it'd be great to see the creep spread out a little bit more aggressively, which will help him with his push comes because he has a lot of roaches. Though it looks like he might just be going for a mutaball. At some point when you do have enough mutas, it doesn't really matter.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
Especially because your main attack army isn't really being attacked, and you just sit there and you continually upgrade it over and over and over again and extend your creep, allow them to fight on your terms.
Yep.
Mutalisks do a lot more than just kill probes.
Yeah, I feel like definitely with this mineral count, he should definitely be expanding a little bit more as well. Making sure that he can get everywhere, and he definitely is taking his 5th base right now. But that he's only 1 base up right now on the Protoss, and the Protoss is being turtly. If the Protoss wants to, he lets him in.
Oh no!
Oh, those poor probes. Oh, when they run right to the mutas. That's just unfortunate.
That's a lot of. That is actually a lot of death and destruction.
Yeah.
And those mutas are going to fly away. But how many workers have gone down now? 36. 36. Small amount of workers have been killed. 44 links coming up now.
Decent force fields.
Yeah.
Force fields tracking him in, but it really doesn't matter. He's got 20 Mutalisks. There are 32 Stalkers, but realistically, he only has 1 Zealot.
Yes.
And he just used a lot of force fields, so.
And there's a ton of lings that are actually flooding in right now. There they are.
Yeah.
There they all are. 44 were made at the same time. Looks like Titan is going to try and make his presence known on the map, but Darkforce is now playing on creep on his side of things. It's going to be extremely difficult for Titan to try and break this.
Yep. And with the mutas, you can harass at home and be back at your base before the Protest Ball even really gets there.
Right.
So with the mobility that he has, he can just abuse this. Though I will say Titan is doing a great job of splitting his forces, but oh no, the Lings are coming in. Combined with the 2, it looks like there might be a good chance for all these Stalkers to be wiped out.
Yeah, it looks like most of the Stalkers are going to go down. However, this base for Darkforce does fall over at the 12 o'clock position, so some measure of solace, I suppose, for Titan, but there's just really not that much being warped in. Look at this. No mining being done here. Nexus goes down. Mining being completely stopped over at the natural. That Nexus is going to fall as well, and there's really not a whole lot left over at the main. If this Nexus actually falls, Titan is in a super bad spot.
Yeah.
I think that's game.
Yeah, there's just no way. He's only 40 food behind, but at this point, there's just no way for him to win, even if he was able to group everything up and attack.
He actually can't build anything.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where we're at right now. He's got no capacity to build anything, whereas Darkforce, he can sit back, even if he only makes handful of lings every now and again, as long as he whittles a few units at a time. Wow, actually all Nexuses are done. And there's another one coming up okay, that's where it's being started, is over on the left-hand side.
You can really feel Titan's frustration with having to leave part of his forces at home and having to spend part of them to attack, but really he got himself into that situation by not pressuring early and letting Darkforce get that force buildup. I mean, he was scouting actively. He knew Darkforce was really only on 2 bases, and he was on 2 bases. And instead of trying to...
And now he can't actually build another Nexus.
Oh my goodness. 5 minerals
just
down.
Had to throw
Not
that out
it even
there
matters,
bit by bit. No, actually, all the probes are being pulled now. The mutas are just going to ravage the rest of this base, and they'll come back whenever they feel the time is right and help
just
out.
Win.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so Darkforce, what does he have on the ground? Just 20 Blings. It's actually his only ground force, which is kind of amusing. Blink Stalkers are actually doing a considerable amount of damage, but it looks like all he wants to do is just kill his opponent's structures. Just a little interesting. He could actually just rally in a bunch of units and kill his opponent's army, but, you know.
Yep. But I think at this point, he just wants to kill all of his units, his opponent's structures, and that's how he wants to win the game.
All right, there it is. Let's see. Are there any other? Oh, there is an assimilator being constructed. that 900 HP assimilator. Whoever came up with that?
Don't you think that's
ridiculous.
What's going on?
Let's go ahead and take a look at
And
this.
you can turn
500.
You can turn them into photon cannons now too.
Yeah. Oh no, let's not even begin with the arc cannon ability or whatever it's called in Heart of the Swarm. That's not staying there, or not staying there in its current form. Okay, so just that assimilator left. Don't believe there's any other structures. How many probes are left on the field? 18 probes coming up here. Aha! We will build structures, and they're just mostly going to die.
Yep.
Poor probes.
I mean, it's a valiant effort, but in the end, sort of done in by his own decision making. He didn't do anything tactically wrong necessarily. Like he did a good job of like splitting up his forces, defending against the mutas.
Yeah.
It was just some of his overall strategic making that was a little bit in question. It looks like this is just gonna end the game here, maybe not.
Okay. Well, Titan 74 over no supply. That's actually clever. You don't see that too often. And now this assimilator is exposed. He could actually just run and go kill the assimilator, which it looks like he's going to do.
He's just trolling him at this point.
Yeah, he
not
actually
even
is. Let's see if a pylon gets put down in time. No, that's the game! And there it is. Darkforce has taken the set 2-0.